Intermediate 5, this is lesson number 7, writing and comparing numbers through hundred thousands and ordinal numbers. We're going to jump in and get started because we have so much to cover today. So make sure you have your math notebook handy and a pencil, just like always. It's always a good idea to make sure you have an eraser as well. Remember, at the top of your paper, you want to write lesson 7 notes, and then you want to follow along in the video. If at any time you need more time to write something down, of course you can pause the video and then just come back and push play when you're ready to continue. All right, let's get started. Today we're going to skip down a little bit just so that we have enough time to get through everything. So we're going to do this Power Up Mental Math. Go ahead and write Power Up Mental Math in your math notebook. Label your paper down the side, A through H, and jot down these equations and your answers. The goal is to be able to do it as quickly as you can, but also you want to do it correctly. All right, so go ahead and do that. When you're ready, push play. Today we're going to skip over problem solving and we're going to get right to our new concept. We've practiced naming whole numbers with 3 or fewer digits in the past, but in this lesson we're going to begin naming whole numbers with 4, 5, and 6 digits. Okay, 4, 5, and 6 digits. That means we're adding some place values, just like you can see here on our chart. We have the ones still, the tens, the hundreds, the thousands, the 10,000s, and the 100,000s. All right, so now we have 6 places in our place value chart. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, or 100,000s. You might want to go ahead and write down that chart on your paper to come back to, because I'm sure that it will be helpful for you later. All right, let's go ahead and keep moving. If you need to pause, you can feel free to do that. Remember that the value of a digit depends on its position in a number. The chart lists the values of the first 6 whole number places. Okay, list the value. Okay, so we want to be able to use words to name this value. Okay, we want to be able to use words in example 1. So write example 1 and first write this out, the digits, so that you remember what we were doing when you come back to look at your notes. All right, commas are often used to write a whole number with many digits so that the number is made easier to read. To place a comma in a whole number, we count the digits from the right end to the left. And when we get to 3 digits in is where we put our comma. So for example, on this number, the comma is going to go right between this 3 and 2. So let's go ahead and place that comma there now. Okay, so go ahead and do that as well in your notes. Okay, but that will make our number much easier to read. Okay, you can't see it very well in here, but it's right there between the 2 and the 3. The comma in this number marks the end of the thousands. To name this number, we read the number formed by the digits to the left of the comma and then say 1,000 at the comma. Finally, we read the number formed by the last 3 digits. Okay, so when we read this number out loud, we're going to read this from the left to the right, and where the comma is, we need to say the word 1,000. So we would say 52,370. 52,370. All right. So notice that we placed a comma after the word thousand when we use words to name the number. Let's try it and write it out, okay? 52, remember we need to write our dash, 52,000, and that's where our comma goes, just like it does in the number, okay? 52,000. 370. 52,370. You may also say 370. Okay, that's up to you. I sometimes say and sometimes I don't. But 52,000. Oops, there's an extra D in there. No wonder it looks funny. There we go. Whoop. Oh, this thing. Let's just erase it and try one more time. Okay, that's how we're going to write that out. Now, if this number had a dollar sign in front of it, then we would add the word dollars at the end. Okay, so let's practice that. If we have this number, 27,000, there's our comma, we would read this $27,050. $27,050, and we would write it out okay, 27,000, comma, $50. So wherever the comma is in your number is also where the comma goes when you write it out. Okay, now if our number got longer, let's pretend we get a longer number here. I'm going to switch colors so that we can see a little bit better. Let's go to blue. Okay, so if our number got a little bit longer, for example, 125, oh, it doesn't want to write again. Let's see. 125,000. Okay, how would we write that out? 125,000. We do the same thing like we did before. 100. We don't put a comma yet because we haven't got to the comma in our number, right? 125. Now we need a dash because it's a double-digit number. 125. Now we want the comma. Oh, sorry, 1,000. I got ahead of myself. Comma. 125,000. No comma because it's the end. There's no change. There's no extra on this side. 125,000. Okay? Good. Let's do just one more together and let's change the color again. That did not change as much as I thought it was going to change. So let's make a totally different color. Let's go with green this time. All right, and let's try the number 203. 400. Now, how would we say that? We would say 200, 200, 3,000, to see the 3 is in the thousands place. Now our comma, and then 400. Hey, does that make sense? I sure hope so. It's a lot of numbers and a lot of writing, but once you get the hang of it, it makes a lot of sense. All right, let's clear our board. Make sure you have that in your notes before you move on. So press pause if you need to. Okay, we want to write example 2 in our notes. Use digits to write 150,234. This time we're going to use digits. We're not going to use words because they already wrote it out in words. So now we're going to go back to writing in digits. Okay, so we want to use digits to write 100. Okay, remember we're moving from left to right, so it should be easy. We start with the 100. The next number says 50,000. 50,000. 150,000 and 234. See the comma? So we need to put a comma. 234. 150,234. Good. All right. You guys are doing great. Example 3. We're going to go back to using our greater than, less than, and equal sign. So we want to compare. Okay, so that's how we know that we're using those symbols. We're going to compare 23,465 to 23,654. Now, when you look at these two numbers, you'll notice that the first two numbers on both sides are the same. Okay? It's not until you get to this place, the hundreds place, that one number is bigger than the other. Okay? And really, when we're comparing, that's all that's going to matter. So, which number is bigger? The 4 or the 6 in the hundreds place? It's the 6, right? So we want to make sure that our sign is going the right direction. We always want the mouth of the alligator shape to be eating the bigger number. Okay, that's how I like to remember. So we want the big wide open spot facing our bigger number, and 23,300 or 654 is our bigger number. And we would read it and say 23,465 is less than 23,654. Okay, we can check our work because we know that that's true. Okay, when we read it out loud, it makes sense, so we know that that's true. This number over here is greater than this number over here. Or you could say this number here, 23,465, is less than 23,654. Example 4. We're going to go ahead and skip this example today, all right, for the sake of time. So we're going to go ahead and skip it, but if you would like to pause and figure it out on your own, you are welcome to do so. Oh, I forgot to clear my board here. Let's get rid of that sign. Okay, ordinal numbers. Write this down under vocabulary. Write the word vocabulary and then write ordinal numbers. Ordinal numbers are numbers that are used to name position or order. Okay, so instead of saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ordinal numbers is when we say first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and so on. Those are the ordinal numbers. Okay, so it's when you add that little ending and you count. So instead of saying the guy was in one place, if he won a race, we would say he was in first place. Okay, or we also use ordinal numbers when we're using a calendar. Okay, and we would say today is the 7th of September, okay, whatever day it is. So we use ordinal numbers all the time, not just in math, but we use them when we talk and when we try to describe something. You might say that you're going down to the 5th Street and then you're going to take a left and then you're going to go down 2 blocks and then on your right, you want to go in the second door. See, we use ordinal numbers all the time. They're very important. So make sure you understand what ordinal numbers are. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, so on. Okay? Awesome. Let's keep going. Here's a list. Make sure you have a list in your notebook, okay? You need to be able to write it this way as well as in a word, okay? First, second through the 12th, and then first through the 12th in words. Make sure you jot those down. If you need to pause the video, feel free to do so. Then just push play when you're ready. Example 5. Tom was the 4th. Oh, there's an ordinal number right there. Tom was the 4th person in a line of 10 people waiting for a movie. How many people were in front of Tom? How many people were behind Tom? Okay, so if he's the 4th, that would make him this guy right here. All right, he's that one right there. And we want to know, right? We want to know what it says right here. How many people were in front of Tom? So we can count and we can look and see how many people were in front of Tom. We have 1, 2, come on, work thing. 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3 people were in line in front of Tom. Here's Tom. And how many people were behind Tom? Okay, to figure that out, we would need to just count the people that are behind Tom in line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we can see that there were 3 people in front of Tom and there were how many people behind Tom? 6. You don't have to draw all the minions. You just need to write that there was 3 in front of him and 6 behind him because he was the 4th person in line. Okay, and we can count and see that there's 10 altogether. Good job. All right, let's clear that screen. All right, time for some lesson practice. Use the words, so write down lesson practice in your notebook so you can see what we're doing. And remember to label each one with the letter in front. Use words to name each number. And there's a hint. Begin by writing the number with a comma. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is add a comma to each of these numbers. Okay, so as you write them down in your notebook, you want to add a comma. I'm going to add my commas here, if it'll let me. There's my comma. 36,420. 36,420. Remember, when we add the comma, we want to count back 3 spots, and that's where our comma goes. 1, 2, 3, and then our comma is going to go right there between the 2 and the 3. Remember, this has got a dollar sign, so we also know that we need to read it with the word dollar. So we're going to read $12,300. $12,300. And this we count back by 3. 1, 2, 3. So our comma is going to go right down here between the 4 and the 5. And we read this 4,567. Your job is to use words to name each number. Okay, so here, let's do this first one together. 36. Remember, we need to write a dash because it's a 2-digit number. 36. And what do we say? 1,000. And we add our comma. And then 420. 36,000, 420. All right, now your turn. $12,300. You write that down. And then 4,567. Go ahead and write those down. When you're ready, press play to continue. All right. Now we need to use digits to write each number. So instead of using words, we're going to take these words and we're going to write them as digits. Okay? So remember, we want to just do the opposite of what we were just doing. So we're going to start at the left, just like when we read. And we're going to say 63,000. So we know we need a comma. 117. There's the first one for you. 63,000, 117. The comma is very important. Don't forget that when you're writing out your numbers. I'll do one more with you. I'm going to do this one at the bottom because it has dollar signs, so it's a little bit different. Not that much different, but a little bit. Remember, dollars goes at the beginning, and we know it's 750,000. There's our comma. Dollars. Now, because it has the word thousand, we know we put a comma, but we can't have a comma without 3 places behind it. So because there's no more numbers, we know that those 3 places are all zeros. 1, 2, 3. All right? You can do E and F on your own. And I'm going to go ahead and clear this. And G. Christina was the 6th person in line of 10 people. How many people were in front of Christina and how many people were behind her? All right, let's do this with our drawing tool. We're going to make lines to represent people. Okay, we know there are 10 people, so we're going to make 10 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, you don't need to draw people. You can draw stick people if you want to, but you don't need to. Okay, you can draw lines just like me. So we have 10 people. Okay, and it says Christina was the 6th person in a line of 10. So we're going to put a little circle around Christina so we remember which one she is. Now 6th is the same as 6, right? She's the 6th person. So we need to find which one's the 6th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here's Christina. So we're going to put a circle around her. Well, that doesn't work very well. Let's undo that. Let's just put a colored dot above her. That'll be easier. All right, we're going to put a colored dot above Christina. There she is. Okay, there's Christina. Okay, now It asks how many people were in front of Christina and how many people were behind her. So the only way to figure that out is to count in front of and behind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people in front of her. And 1, 2, 3, 4 people behind her. Okay? Then you would want to write a nice sentence to say there are 5 in front. There are 5 in front of her and 4 behind her. Okay, something like that. So just because we're doing math does not mean we don't need to write sentences. Sometimes we need to write out our sentences so that it makes sense. Because if I just saw this drawing, I wouldn't know what it was. Okay, so you need to write out your answer. All right, great job. Your homework today for lesson 7 are pages 43 and 44. Written practice numbers 1 through 30. Pages 43 through 44, written practice numbers 1 through 30 in your book. This is lesson 7. So remember at the top of your homework page, write lesson 7 written practice and then number your page down the side. If you run out of room, flip your page over and go on the back or go to the next page, but keep it nice in a straight line down the side of your paper. All right. Have a fantastic day.